how to use a clipping mask, and we're going to do this with fruit. We're going to manipulate the fruit to look like it's inside of everyday objects. So you can go ahead and hit create new. Again, for your version, it may be up at the top, your version of Photoshop. You can choose default Photoshop size, and I would choose a vertical one for this. So remember, the orientation here lets you flip between vertical and horizontal. Okay, and then hit create. You should have a blank canvas. Okay, I am going to go ahead and sample and write example on here so that you guys can't copy it for your thing that you're making. Okay, in the classroom, Google Classroom, I have put a lot of different materials that you can save over to use for this, and you have the option. So you can make an orange mug, make a mug and superimpose an orange within it. You could do a teapot like this, and I did orange mint, or this one is Sprite with lemons inside of it, okay? So you can pick which one you want. They are all pretty much the same process. Today, the first one I'm going to walk through how let's do this. Oops, sorry. Let's do the Sprite lemon first, okay? So what I'm going to do is come in here, start with a background. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle around the back of it. I'm going to make my rectangle some sort of Sprite color. So I'm thinking something bright green. Or you can start with black and put the green on top. So either way is fine. So let's do, actually, yeah, let's just start with the back, black. So what I want to do is take the green and put it on top to kind of make it shaded with green. So I can go to brush tool here. I'm going to use a larger brush tool and a soft brush tool. So you can kind of hover over here and see about what size it is. Now I'm going to create a new layer for this. So if you want a blank layer, you don't have anything on yet, you can click this plus sign down here and it will create just a new layer. So now I have this new layer, and I'm actually going to want a little bit bigger brush size. You can go over here and see what the brush size would look like. Okay, I'm going to choose again that Sprite-ish color, something bright green, and I'm going to start to add some bright green to the back. Now this looks a little too bright to me. I feel like it would take away from everything. So you can always go edit, undo, or do the history here and see the different things you've done and go back and forth between them. So close my history. I'm going to add some transparency to this. So go to the opaquency and I'm going to move it down to like 50. Okay. So then it's not quite as bright, and I can even move it lower if I want it to just be a subtle kind of green color on some of the background. Now if I let go of my click and I go over it a second time, it's going to kind of darken because now I have two layers on top of each other. So the more you let go of your click and click again and again, the more it'll kind of create that effect. Okay. If I don't want it to look quite so streaky, I can make my brush even bigger, and this will help eliminate some of that streak. Okay. So I'm going to put some green on the bottom. I'm going to put some green on the top, and what I'm hoping to do is that my Sprite can will kind of be here in the middle, and it will look like it has a little bit of shadow and depth to it. Okay. Now the other thing I'm going to do is add some yellow in here, because I would like, if we go back to this, oops, sorry, if we go back to this one, you can see how the background has some brighter yellow spots too. So I'm going to add some green more up here, some brighter green down here, kind of where the Sprite bottle would be hovering over. And then I'm going to add some yellow into that. So I'm going to go into the yellow area, maybe in here, and do a little bit of a brighter yellow. And again, I'm just letting go and clicking again and again to make it look brighter and brighter. Okay. And then same thing down here. So a little bit of a really bright yellow spot down there for the Sprite container to kind of hover over. Okay. So once you got your background in a way that you like it, we're going to move on to the next step. So we're going to go back to the move tool. I always do this between steps so that it's not in the way. I have my Sprite container saved here. I'm going to hover over this gray bar so that it opens in a new tab. I am going to click Quick Actions twice until I see Remove Background. And then I have my Sprite container without a background. So I can go over here, hover above my new item, and let go. Okay. So my Sprite container I'm going to come back to in a minute, and then I'm going to add my lemon also. I'm going to again hover. The lemon is here. I can close Sprite now because I don't need that. Okay, and here's my lemon. The same thing, quick actions, remove background. Okay, and then I can grab this and pull it into my example. Okay, so the first thing I am going to do is to build my lemon with the different lemon slices, okay? And then I can put my Sprite on top of it. Oops. So I'm gonna hit Command T. Oops, that was Command Y, hold on. Command T, shrink it down a bit. I want it to be about right here. When you hover outside the box a little, you'll see those little arrows that are on a curved spot. That means you can turn it. So wherever you want your lemon to kind of be is where you can turn it to. So I'm going to put my lemon about right here. Okay. And I'm going to come in with the regular lasso tool. So I don't want magnetic, I don't want anything else, just the regular lasso tool. So the lasso tool will allow you to circle an area and then eliminate it. So what I'm going to do is cut off the top of my lemon, so create a circle and then just press delete. Make sure I'm on my lemon layer, and then I can press delete and then go back to the move tool. If I want the ants to go away, Command D to deselect. So now it looks like there's a lemon that's supposed to have a top here that does not. Okay, so then I'm going to go in, and one of the other things I gave you to use was a lemon slice. So I can open this in a new tab, close my original lemon. Okay, so for the slice of lemon, I'm going to use the lasso also, or actually I'm going to use the magnetic lasso. But I want a little bit of the edge here so that it looks like it's a slice of lemon. So I'm going to go around here. And when you get to this edge, don't go right up to the edge. Leave a little bit of the peel or the rind so that it looks like it's more of a real slice of lemon. Okay, so when I click back at the original, it'll make the ants that go around it. You have to use the move tool to move it. So the move tool is this top tool, and then you should be able to grab it and move it into your other. Don't let go until you get to your new thing, but then you can let go. Okay, Command T to make it smaller. Use the corners to kind of circulate it around. Okay. And I can also grab the corners and do some stretching. If I hold Shift, it'll let me kind of stretch it in some weird angles too. So if I want this first one to look a little more squished, then I can hold Shift while I'm resizing it, and it should make it look more like it fits where it's supposed to fit. Okay. Okay. So I have my lemon first, and what I'm going to do is just create several of that. So I'm going to do Command C, Command V to copy and paste. I will tell you, if you're in T, Command T, it will not let you do the Command C, Command V because it thinks you're wanting to manipulate this, not copy it. So you have to go back to your move tool, make sure that layer is selected, and then you Command C, Command V again. So I'm going to do like 4 of these. And I think this will look good. And then I'm going to come over here, and one by one I'm going to kind of rotate them so they look like they're kind of flying off of each other. Command T. Okay. And then layer 7, Command T. Okay. So now I have a lemon that looks like it's coming apart. And it looks like a fun Photoshop effect. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my Sprite container, and I want the Sprite container to be larger, a bit larger than my lemons, and to be on top of my lemons. And what I'm going to do is create a clipping mask so that the lemons show within the Sprite container. So let me make it actually a little bit bigger. Okay, so what I can do, and I'm thinking I'm doing this right, first I'm going to merge all my layers. So press Shift, click the first layer you want to merge and the last layer you want to merge. Right click and go to Merge Layers. Okay, and then on the Sprite layer, I am going to hold down Alt, and you see how that little square appears with the arrow? That is what I want. So I'm going to click that, and it means this way the Sprite is inside the lemons, which is not what I want. I can never remember which one goes on top. So you can go Edit, Undo, Create Clipping Mask. And this time I'm going to flip them so the lemons are on top. Hold Alt, press the square, and the lemons are inside the Sprite. And then I can still move them around a bit till it fits where it should fit. Oops, I double clicked there. Okay, so this is how you do a clipping mask where you have one thing inside the other. To make this even more exciting, we're gonna add a bunch of like splotches where it looks like there's bubbles and things that are flying out from it. I also am going to add, oops, that's why I had that open, the logo for Sprite. I think this is the one that worked the best. So you can drag that over. It should already have a transparent background and it will look more like a Sprite ad. Okay, so one way you can create the bubbles, and again, there's multiple ways to do most everything here, but I'm gonna go into the brush tool, and then you have a bunch of options up at the top. One of the options here, when the brush options, and you can click and open these if you can't see what I can see. So it may look like this to you. You can click these little hamburger that's at a diagonal at the bottom and make it bigger, and then go to special effect brushes. And there's all these splatter brushes. So I'm gonna choose this splatter brush. I'm gonna make sure that the splatter color is something that's kind of associated with lime or the thing. Okay, and then I'm going to, and make sure your layer that you're on is either its own layer or you're on the background layer. But I'm gonna kind of create just a splatter that goes over a lot of the background. Okay, it might help to have like a shadow splatter too, so I'm going to create a little bit of kind of this gray splatter in there also, and now it looks like bubbles or something are coming up. Maybe like off-white. Yeah, so you can kind of play around with it till you like what you see, and then you'll go back to the Move tool. But this is how you would create a clipping mask for the Sprite. Okay, now we're going to go File the first time, choose Save As so that you save it to the cloud, and it will save it to Photoshop so you can get to it. The second time, choose Save to your computer. And then if you hit this, it'll give you a couple options. If you choose Save a Copy, it will give you lots of format options. So, excuse me, the ones that are good are PDF, JPEG, and PNG. So choose any of those. Make sure the location is someplace you can find it. Downloads or desktop are good ones. And then hit save. And then you will have it available to turn in.